Mr. President, what do you think about an American Pope?
I think it's great. And I think he was a good friend of Pope Francis, and I think he's going to keep moving the church in the direction of being more ecumenical and reaching out. And I think that's all good.
I mean, you're only the second Catholic American president, and now we have the first American Pope. Did you ever think you were going to see that?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, but it pleases me a great deal.
I knew it. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. So we officially have our very first Black Pope. So a genealogist out of Louisiana did his research, and he found out that our new Pope's great-grandmother moved from Louisiana to Chicago in the early 1900s in 1916. And his great-grandmother, by the last name of Martinez, she's from Louisiana, and she's African Creole. Now, if we are to apply the 1% rule that has been applied throughout history for anybody that has 1% African American blood or Black blood in them, we can officially claim, ladies and gentlemen, that we have the very first Black Pope. Now, mind you, his great-grandmother is white passing. So when they moved from Louisiana and settled in Chicago in 1916, they were white passing. So they just basically passed as white. But the census report from the 1900s of his great-grandmother, whose last name is Martinez, has her marked as Black. So we can officially claim that we had the very first Black Pope, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. We had the very first Black Pope, born in Chicago, born and raised, spent his majority of his time in South America, speaks fluent Spanish, Italian. So, see, I knew there was something. I knew there was a reason why there had to be 2 votes that was done, of the conclave that was done to elect this man. And mind you, I'm going to come back and do another video later on. But with my own research, I found out that the very conservative Christian nationalist movement here in the United States, especially with Trump and his multimillionaire backers or billionaire backers, were actually doing events in Rome around the time about a year before the Pope passed away, to try to get a conservative Pope elected. But I'm going to do another post about that, but we can officially claim that we have our very first Black Pope.
As Pope Leo XIV greeted the faithful in St. Peter's Square, cheers and church bells rang out in Chicago, where he was born and raised. His father was a school superintendent, his mother a librarian. He earned a degree in mathematics at Villanova University. Prevost was a priest of the St. Augustine order, dedicated to the poor and service. Pope Francis elevated Prevost to cardinal in 2023. The new Pope's older brother John still lives in the Chicago suburbs and spoke to our Chicago station WBBM.
Shock, disbelief, a whole lot of pride, a whole lot of, is this for real? Now what are we going to do? That kind of stuff, because this is an awesome responsibility that we have to live up to, that he has to live up to.
Like Pope Francis, many within the church see him carrying on his life's work advocating for migrants and the poor. He holds dual citizenship in the U.S. and Peru.
He's a person who's very sensitive and is concerned to allow everyone to have a voice.
Father Mark Francis studied with the new Pope. The two were seminary classmates at the Catholic Theological Union in Chicago. They also both worked in Rome in the early 2000s.
He's not a showboat. He is very calm, but extremely intelligent and extremely compassionate.
2 years ago, Pope Francis brought Prevost to Rome and named him the powerful head of the office that oversees the appointments of new bishops around the world, one of the most important posts in the church.
I think his the kind of style he would bring to the papacy would be calm, steady, very direct kind of guidance.
Keep hearing all about your family background.
Yes.
I hear there is some Creole blood in your background, which people think, oh, so can we say that part of the family is black? Tell us about your family background.
I am aware that my mother's parents were from Haiti, and we are aware that her sisters were all born in New Orleans, but my mom was born up here in Chicago.
The Pope is black, you can't convince me he's not. He's black like Mary from Sinners is black. They're passing. It's okay. Pope Leo's mother's parents are from a black community in New Orleans in the 7th Ward. Pope Leo's grandfather is from Haiti and he identified as mulatto, but was also called black. His grandmother is New Orleans Creole. By your one-drop rule, he's black. When they came to America, they switched races. This is from Nicole Hannah-Jones. The Pope's paternal grandfather is from Haiti. His family switched racial identities when they moved north. Nicole Hannah-Jones, I didn't give a whit about new Pope coverage, but the first American Pope being a man with black ancestry born in Chicago by way of New Orleans, by way of Haiti, named himself after the Pope who condemned slavery in the Trump era. Oh, baby, I am here for it. Hells yeah. The Pope is black, yo!
I was lying in bed. My wife called and said, white smoke, white smoke. So I turned the TV on, watched the whites, man, and it took almost an hour till and when the Cardinal came out and we were all waiting and he mentioned Roberto, I knew right away. And it's like, if I had not been in bed standing up, I might have collapsed because it's like totally unexpected, it's like they said, the first American Pope, that was a strike against him. He's young, 2 strikes, but he's got a lot of worldwide experience in his previous popes. So when we were little kids, I used to raise Cain with my 2 younger brothers all the time, but he was always the holy one. And we used to tease him, you're going to be Pope someday. You're too holy. What do you want to be? Joking, ribbing. And when he went into the seminary, it's like, oh, wow, okay. And then a couple of years ago when the Pope made him a cardinal, it's like, this could happen. Holy cow.
The more I post, the more I realize y'all don't understand why Passe Blanc people are the way that they are and why they were the way that they were. So I don't know if you understand that down here in the South, if you were Passe Blanc, you were too dark to be white, but you were too light-skinned to be black, right? Cool. Then on top of that, if you decided that you wanted to be Passe Blanc and actually assimilate into the white community, you did everything in your power for people to not find out who you really were. Do you know how dangerous it was for Passe Blanc people to assimilate into the white culture and then people find out that they really aren't white? Like, y'all not understanding. The reason why this man did not know that he had this heritage is because his grandparents hid it from him because they were Passe Blanc trying to assimilate. That is literally why they moved to Chicago. I'm not on here saying that he's about to be the greatest Pope alive. I ain't saying none of that. Y'all taking everything that I said out of context. All I said was that he was black. He didn't know he was black. How can you identify as black if you didn't even know that you were black? Again, do you know how many white people find out that they black from Ancestry? Like, let's be real, y'all. The dots really not connecting for y'all, huh? It's really not.
Well, that was quick. MAGA is already furious about the selection of the new Pope, Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost of Chicago. He's now going by the name Pope Leo XIV. MAGA is freaking out, calling him by every name in the book, calling him a woke DEI lib, New World Order, you name it. They are calling him it. Let me show you some of the most deranged posts coming in right now. Laura Loomer was one of the first to weigh in, calling him a woke Marxist Pope. Loomer, one of Trump's biggest supporters, also wrote the following: "This is the new pope. His name is Robert Prevost. He's the first American pope. He is anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, pro-open borders, and a total Marxist like Pope Francis. Catholics don't have anything good to look forward to, just another Marxist puppet in the Vatican." Loomer's just been on a rampage. She also wrote the following: "The new pope once retweeted a post about how we need to keep praying for career criminal and drug addict George Floyd. The tweet said, 'May all hatred, violence, and prejudice be eradicated.' What prejudice? Is that another way to spell fentanyl? Overdosed Marxist pope." Charlie Kirk weighed in as well, saying that Mr. Prevost, the new pope, was retweeting George Floyd propaganda. Sean Davis wrote the following: "The new pope seems to be anti-Trump and pro-open borders." Joey Manarino was in his feelings as well, writing, "Okay, this new pope is a liberal piece of shit. We are effed." But he wasn't done there. He too was on a Twitter rampage, writing, "Pope Leo XIV is not an American, he's a Democrat. Just read his Twitter feed." Man, is there anything that they don't complain about? Hey, remember to follow our account for more and add the Midas Touch podcast right now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We got new episodes out now.
So, how long? How long do you think it's going to take before the white supremacists realize that Pope Leo is black? Not only does he have African ancestry, but Haitian ancestry. And it's all making sense now because the few social media posts that Pope Leo has done has all been correcting J.D. Vance and calling out J.D. Vance for his hatred and bigotry. And that makes so much sense now. Recently, there was a genealogist that broke down Pope Leo's roots, so I just want to talk about it a bit. Expert Jari Hanara, who's a Louisiana Creole expert, traced Pope Leo's ancestry to the black community of New Orleans. And we all know that he's a Chicago boy, but his maternal ancestors lived in the Crescent City before they migrated to Chicago in the early 20th century. Now, according to the U.S. Census, and they've pulled these documents already, his mother is the late Mildred Martínez, and she was of mixed race. She's the daughter of black property owners, Haitian-born Joseph Martinez, and New Orleans native Louise Baquié, who's a Creole. And in that, technically, he would be considered the first black pope in the history of the Catholic Church. Now, it's unclear how he actually identifies. And there's definitely other articles that point to this that were written like years ago. I mean, this is resurfacing and coming back out, obviously now that he's the newly elected pope, but they've covered this before. I will say that this pope is pretty global with the fact that he's a Peruvian citizen, he has Latinx roots, he has African roots. He's definitely, talked about immigrant and refugee justice. He's called out J.D. Vance for his bigotry and hatred towards the immigrant and refugee community. It is all making sense. So, white smoke, black pope.
Leo XIV descended from Creole people of color from New Orleans. ABC News has actually obtained records and photos of the groundbreaking discovery that shows how the first American Pope's family tree reflects the complex racial history of our country. Joining me now is the genealogist who worked on this discovery, Chris Smothers. Chris, it is so great to see you. Tell me, what inspired you to dive into this research in the first place?
Yes, it's so much to talk about. I first learned about this discovery through Jari Honore, a fellow colleague and genealogist based out of the Historic New Orleans collection in Louisiana. And I saw this post and I really felt convicted to go in deeper into these records and begin to explore and peer through to really see what we could confirm through the documentation. And in that process, I began to unravel kind of the seeds of this truth-telling process through these historical records and looked at where the truth was almost omitted in these historical documents. And this highlighted a very complex, nuanced understanding of this family overall.
Amazing that you got the tip from the raging Cajun, General Russell Honore. So, of course, knows about the history of the people of New Orleans. I love that. So, explain for folks why the Pope's family would mark down their race as white after migrating to Chicago in 1920. Put the history into perspective for us, Chris.
Sure. So there was a collection of, free people of color who migrated all over the United States during the Great Migration. And I, looking through these records, one could kind of infer that it looks like an identity crisis, but I see it as a survival strategy. In this critical point where race is becoming more charged after the passing of the 13th Amendment, it's clear that the family really was trying to navigate economic and social mobility during the early 20th century when they moved to Chicago and passed for white.
Wow. So how much of the Pope's background is a representation, you think, just of the American story as we learn this and start talking about this and discover so much about him that we didn't know?
That's such a layered question. I think that the reality is that Black Catholicism is not a new phenomenon, and it's clear that the Pope's maternal lineage has been rooted in Black Catholicism. I hope this opens up an opportunity to correct historical records, to acknowledge and really reckon with the longer history of how African descendant people were introduced to the faith and, really hold space for the collective power we have to really engage these historical records that hold those secrets of the past.
And people should, I have a feeling we're going to be talking a lot about this more. I'm thinking of St. Catherine Drexel, the white nun who traveled across the country and saw how Blacks and Native Americans were being treated and created schools like Xavier there in New Orleans, and even the school where Lytle Hampton learned how to play the drums through the nuns and Catholic school in Chicago. I mean, it's all coming back together, this rich history, and to find the Pope tied to this rich Black Catholic history is so incredible. And it tells us a lot just about Black history in America and what more we need to learn about this experience. And this has got to be significant for Black Americans, Chris, as this broke yesterday and we're all talking about it. What does it mean to you?
My ancestors were personally descendant of people who were missionaries of the Society of Jesus, and it's a very personal thing. And to reckon with this history truly is culminating. And I feel that we're in a space in public history where we are really beginning to confront the nuances and the realities of this history. I'm someone who is both descendant of people who owned enslaved people and then those who were enslaved. And the same is true for Pope Leo. And so I think that we're in this space now where we can begin to have these conversations with more open dialogue so that we can continue to expand and correct historical narrative and atone for the historical erasure of this very nuanced and complex history.
A complex history of free and enslaved that now includes the Holy Father's family, which is just incredible. Chris Smothers, so appreciate your time and your research. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
For more on the new American Pope, you can see that special on 2020 tonight, 9 p.m., 8 Central, right here on ABC.
Let's talk about why this American Pope is a fantastic move by the Vatican in light of Christian nationalism and Trumpism. I'm doing my master's thesis on Project 2025 and the rise of the religious right. I have talked about in other videos in my Project 2025 playlist how the religious right, the conservative national Christian movement, has infiltrated so many different sectors of American society. They have gone after education, healthcare, politicians, pop culture, etc. What I didn't talk about in those videos, but I am writing in my master's thesis, is how they have infiltrated the United States military. Most chaplains, I served in the United States Air Force Reserve Chaplain Corps as a progressive chaplain. Most of the chaplains that are in there that are serving are from evangelical or Southern Baptist backgrounds. And their goal is to tend and convert American soldiers into Southern Baptist or evangelicals because and wrap that in with the Bible and the flag. We've talked about this intertwining of how America is God's country and they're here to turn the world into some sort of godly state. And they're going to start with American politics, and then as that escalates and as they take over more and more of America, they plan to use the military to continue global dominance of Christianity, this conservative Christianity. So this nationalist movement is nationalist until it goes global. That's a real thing. So for the Vatican to elect an American socially progressive Pope, Pope Leo, is a statement against Trump and Christian nationalism. He has tweeted against Trump multiple times. He has socially progressive values, much like Pope Francis. So not just once, but twice, the Vatican has told the world that they want a socially progressive Catholicism that has conservative Catholic doctrine. They're making that very clear that Pope Francis was not a fluke, that this is the world that they're moving towards, that they liked Pope Francis and they're going that direction. And again, a lot of conservative, evangelical, even conservative Catholics, and then of course the Southern Baptists are not going to be happy with this new Pope. They're just not, which I think is a fantastic move by the Vatican to say, hey, you are not going to call the shots on what it means to be Christian. This Christian nationalist movement is not Christ-like. Like, this is not what we stand for. And we're not going to tell you this not just with Pope Francis, but with Pope Leo. And having it be American is, yes, I know that there's like, oh, American hegemony. But if America, if religious Christian nationalism takes over the United States, it's not good for other countries with our military superpower. So I think it's a really smart move on their part to put someone, I know that he won't be here in America, but to have an American speaking out against Trump was smart. I also appreciate that he has dual citizenship and was naturalized in Peru. Historically, the Global South has been neglected in world politics, and I appreciate that Pope Leo has these strong ties to the Global South and can be an ally in religious and global politics. And then finally, this is just for me, but I really appreciate that he's from Chicago. Not only is that cool to say that, like, I love Chicago anyway, and I love the fact that he's like a fan of the Chicago Bears, but also just like this like tie to Barack Obama, who the religious right hates because of his name, his skin color, his stance on queer marriage and contraceptives with Obamacare. It's I think that's cool. So the religious right's not gonna like this, and I'm cool with the religious right being angry.
So we got a new pope who, like me, is from Chicago, and who, like me, is from the South Side, and who, like me, likes the Cubs. Here's a picture of his mom. Old boy may be more like me than we thought.
Keep hearing all about your family background.
Yes.
I hear there is some Creole blood in your background, which people think, oh, so can we say that part of the family is black? Tell us about your family background.
I am aware that my mother's parents were from Haiti, and we are aware that her sisters were all born in New Orleans, but my mom was born up here in Chicago.
I love my people. Lady Rosie here. How y'all doing? To all my new subscribers, you're welcome, and my returning subscribers, you all know I love you. Guys, happy Saturday today. You know, I got good news Well, y'all gotta watch all those videos before I even comment, but it is what it is. But this is good news. And one of my queens here comes, tells me like I got like a hot tea. And guess what, baby? I went to the Success Squad team investigation. I went and traveled on all the Success Squad channels, and also consulted with other brothers and sisters from TikTok. So we have Black Pope. Ooh, baby, you know that 1% drop rule of the African people's blood in your blood automatically makes you black. But you saw Gayle King, and she asked questions. And that's the Pope's older brother. The older brother did not deny anything. His mother's sisters, everybody was born in Haiti. And well, I'm just gonna look for the report that is confirming all the things. But y'all saw their mother's picture there. She looks, the Duchess of Sussex, black, okay? She does. So she is a mixed baby who gave birth to all these pretty kids. And did y'all see the picture of these 3 kids where they're lining up with the little Pope Leo the 14th? Did y'all see Pope Leo? He's the baby of the family, and he's the youngest. So y'all saw him, his little face right there. And all those people, this Pope with his brothers, one of them actually looks like my grandfather, who did have a German father, you know? Yes, one of my grandpapas did have a German father. So they look exactly the same. Those people don't look white. I know the mixed babies when I see one, okay? Because I came from some of them, okay? So don't be sitting down there trying to fool people and try to pull the blanket around with lots of nonsense. Yeah, the brother did tell you pure and clear. What else y'all guys want to hear? So right now, yeah, you're going to have to deal with this black man out there, and he's dragging MAGA. Oh my goodness, he is dragging MAGA. He actually went and posted J.D. Vance. I don't know if y'all guys paid attention about those tweets, because sometimes it's hard for the people who are watching videos to read what is written on those green screen. So the Pope's statement is there about J.D. Vance's treatment of others, the bigotry and all the racism. I'm telling you, that brother was out here. He's really progressive. And what are you expecting? That guy, that's a fellow PhD, brother. What are you talking about? That is a doctor you're talking about. He is like me, Dr. Anti-Bullshit. Yes. So he like me. He says it the way it is. Baby, Laura Loomis, she can't sleep these days, because they got this guy in the Vatican. They woke Pope to drag them asses. I'm here for it, guys. I am so happy. I don't even know what to do with myself, but I'm just so happy. The Holy Father is our kid. I tell you that, yes. Yeah, one of them black grandmamas gave birth to his mama. I tell you that. Yeah, but his father's side of family is white. So apparently when they moved from that place there, when they moved from New Orleans and came to Chicago and declared themselves white. And the brother did say on one of the papers where I read, I didn't put the paper on here for y'all guys because I didn't think it was necessary. So the brother said, when well, their family never identified as black, but they do have black ancestry, you know, from their mother's side. Yes. So they like back in the day, people used to actually pass. If you can pass, you tell people that you're white. I know one of them American president who was also mulatto came out here. What was his name? Was that Hoover? Yeah, one of those guys were black, and that dude came out here, told people that he was he was white. You know, when I have mixed family, so when I see that president that I'm just telling you, I believe it is Hoover. So if you look at that president, that dude don't look nothing like white man. No, he don't. He looks like he got something of ours in his body, but guess what? He refused to tell people that he did have like a mixed heritage. And that's the same thing that happened in the Pope's family, but it's not their fault, because guess what? A child is born, he told the child, well, my parents told me I was black, so you gotta come and tell me otherwise, I'm gonna tell you no. You know, and when you tell me right on my papers or in school, you know, your mothers teach you when you go to that school there, you're gonna learn how to write your name, you're gonna write how to tell people how old you are, and you're gonna learn to tell people no if they're trying to say something that you do not like, and if they're telling you take this candy, you say no. Your mama tells you that when you're little tiny bitty, and you know, until right now here, I just don't take nothing from nobody because my mama told me no. And I'm a 40-year-old woman. Yeah, so the mamas told those kids, don't tell people that you guys are black. Tell them that you're white. That's what the kids flew with through their lives. And right now here, they still consider themselves white, even though they do acknowledge they do have black ancestors. You know, yeah, that DNA of ours, you can't just fly too far, because I tell you that melanin is go poppy, poppy, poppy. They're melanin, they're poppy, poppy, melanin, they're poppy, poppy, they're melanin, they're poppy, pop, they be poppy, poppy. I tell you that melanin will pop out. And this is so beautiful. Yeah, nothing good like that melanin. You see some other people out here, they go sit down there in the sun trying to pop a praise. They're trying to get that tan on there. But you ain't gonna see us sitting down there in the moon and trying to lighten up. And so I'm just saying, so that melanin poppy, yeah, it popped out. Yes, and they pops like an older brother actually do look like a real black. Yes, he really look like a real black, like one of my uncles. So yeah, I love them. They're looking all cute, and they're telling all the truth. They really deserve to have a pope in their family, because they're sincere, clean people with integrity, you know. And unlike some others thinking like a blackness is a bad thing, but I tell you, everybody is jealous of you, my queen. Every other person out there is jealous of you, my king, because that melanin you got on you, and nobody got it like that, I tell you. Yeah, why God created you, my king? Oh, ain't no man out there like you. Nobody should tell you otherwise, my queen. Nobody should tell you otherwise. Those curves on you, God bless you. Oh my God, hallelujah. God bless all my beautiful queens out here. That shape, oh my goodness, all those lips, oh my goodness. Who created you, black queen? God bless you all. I'm so happy. I am so excited today. I'm gonna talk to you guys again tomorrow. For right now, I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy your day, because it's Saturday. I don't want to keep you on here for too long. I'm just so proud of our new Pope. God bless him. And I like his mouth. He is like me. Doctor, no bullshit. Oh, God bless America. God bless y'all. My queens and my kings out here. And I'm gonna talk to you guys again tomorrow. So I already say that part because I'm just so damn excited. So please go subscribe to Isabella Back's channel, and also go subscribe to my brother Baron's channel. That's the Royal Success, and Isabella Back's channel is also called the Isabella Back's channel, with my queen Weezy on there. Let's get this to 10,000 subscribers. And also remember to go to all the success friendly channels and bless the sisters. Let's get all the sisters to 10,000 subscribers, sisters and brothers. We have all of those wonderful people there. Y'all go on there and give them a follow button on TikToks. And yes, remember my queen Elizabeth Solari out there, my Yoruba queen. God bless you. I love you. I love everything that you are doing for these successes, and all your research, and all your your videos are good content with knowledge and all the research and everything. You just damn smart. You my blood. God bless you, queen. So I appreciate all of your other content creators on TikTok. God, I thank you for doing these wonderful videos. And I'm gonna talk to y'all guys again tomorrow. Bye for now.